Hello, my name's Kate and I thought I would do a reintroduction. So I've started my YouTube channel back up again. After years, I've been on YouTube, I'd guess, since about 2016, which is when I started my blog. I had a blog and it was called Kate Lily Blog. So I shut the blog down years ago, but I've been wanting to get back into YouTube, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to film. And then my family and I moved to Texas, and I thought it would be good to get some vlogs all about Texas and where we live. I tend to use YouTube to look for videos of other places. I like travel vlogs. I like the really swishy, artistic travel vlogs, but I also love the kind of talking to camera, day-to-day vlogs that aren't highly polished. I watch all kinds of different people living all kinds of different lives, and that's what I really love about YouTube, and I thought I can contribute to that. There's always a certain amount of imposter syndrome. There's always a certain amount of why do I feel the need to video myself and put it on the internet? Isn't that a bit weird? And then in the end, I just thought, you know what? It's a hobby. I love doing it. I love editing the vlogs. I love filming all the places we go to as a family, and I can find ways to put out the content I want to put out. So that's what I'm doing. So you might have been seeing some of my old vlogs. A lot of them are like Vlogmas, which was fun. It was filming something little every day in the lead up to Christmas. And some of them were just like baby clothes hauls and stuff, because it was all family based and all mummy blogger based. If you've been watching since then, hi, thank you. And if you've just stumbled across my channel, you're like, who is this bird? I'm kind of hoping that this video would be a little sort of reintroduction to who I am. So with the channel, what I want to do is film places. So I want to show off some of the Texas places we've been. So there's, straight away I go into talking about Oklahoma. We went on a family trip to Oklahoma to a cabin in the woods, which was amazing. So that is one of the most recent vlogs I've done. And then the next one that's gone out today when I'm filming this is a look around Roanoke, which is the town I live in. It's a historical town in North Texas, and it's really pretty, and there's lots of history to it. So I just did a walk down the main high street and back and showed you some of the buildings and history there. The third vlog that'll be coming out is, it's a good one, it's a doozy. It's the move-in from Wales to Texas, the move-in day. That'll be out next week. And then I'm also going to do a walking around our Texas neighborhood vlog, just to show kind of what it looks like. And then when I get home, I want to show some of the gorgeous areas we have in Wales. There's lots of places in Wales that I love to go to and I go to regularly. Castles, Roman amphitheatres, mountains, beaches. There's tons of places in South Wales to see, and I'm going to buy a drone, so I'm really excited about that. I honestly cannot wait to see Killian Amphitheatre by drone. I'm sure someone else has done it, but I can't find it, so I'm going to do it. I'm really looking forward to it, because there's all the barracks as well. Anyway, I'll show you all that's coming up. I was watching another vlogger who was like a grow your channel vlogger person that came up on my feed, and she was like, nobody cares. So she was like, to be blunt, nobody cares about your content unless they feel they know you a bit. So she advised to do some chatty 2-camera videos like this, just so that you can kind of see who I am and see if you want to watch any of my other videos, which I completely understand, because it's one of the things I love about YouTube too. So this video I wanted to focus on, why do we live in Texas, right? Why would you up and move your whole family from Wales to Texas? Seems a bit random. And it's what you think it is. It was for my husband's job. So we've been living here about a year, and it's been great. Texas is amazing. I mean, we've tried to see as much as we could fit in, little trips here and there. We've been down to San Antonio. We've driven down to Austin. We have friends actually from Wales who live in Austin as well. I don't know what that doodaloo was. Now I'm a bit concerned. Oh, I think my daughter's just come home with her dad. So yeah, we've been to San Antonio, we've been to Austin. We did a trip to Florida because we also love Disney. We've been to Disney a few times as a family. And so we took advantage of living in America and did a trip to Florida last June. I didn't vlog any of that though. I wasn't vlogging at the time, but I do have some old Disney World vlogs you can go and look at if you want to watch some of those. And then last weekend we went on a family trip for a couple of nights to Oklahoma, as I said. So we've tried to really make the most of it as much as we can in that year of living here, basically. So the opportunity arose with Richard's job to be able to come and work for the American side of the business, basically, that he's in. And we just jumped at the chance. And it was a long time, over a year, I would say, of back and forth within his company to see what was needed business-wise, what that would look like, what they would do. Now, bearing in mind, this is a huge company. They have a whole, relocation team. But interestingly enough, I haven't met any of the British people here, I don't think. No, not one. Which I just assumed there would be more. I don't know why. I just thought there would be. Not that it matters, but I think that it goes towards us standing out more. If you go to a coffee shop or order food or anything, or just meeting new people, they're always shocked that you're from the UK. And in fact, a lot of times they don't immediately know that you're from the UK. And I'm from Wales, obviously, but some people don't know where Wales is. And I'm not even joking. Some people have never even heard of Wales. They literally repeat it back to me as a foreign word in their mouth. They don't know what it means, and you can see them panicking because they can't decide, because everyone here is so respectful, right? They can't decide whether they should ask or if it's kind of disrespectful to ask. And most of the time they choose not to ask. Where's that? But a couple of people have, and it's funny. I like the other guy who asked me the other day, I literally said it's just south of England, just because it's I don't know, am I going to stand there and, do you know what I mean? I don't know where a lot of the states are. So sometimes people will say I'm from a different state and they have to explain to me that's a Midwest state. That's I'm getting better though, because me and Owen have been doing citizenship because I'm currently homeschooling until we get home. And so we've been learning, looking at a map of the states, and so I've got I think on a general knowledge quiz I would do pretty good now where the states are. I do think the mid states quite often are swallowed up quicker, than. I'm getting better. Some people have asked me if I'm from South Africa. Some people, if you say you're from the UK, they just assume you mean London. Some people, they know, the weird thing is they know Ireland, they know Scotland, they know England. I'd say the majority of people I've spoken to have never heard of Wales. But I could be being a bit prejudiced there because there's no way of telling. I can't say I've ever actually said to someone, well, I have actually a couple of times, if you ever heard of it, and they go no. But I haven't asked every person who I've spoken to if they've ever heard of it. So I couldn't tell. It's just the look of confusion on their face of panic of oh, I don't know where that is. Do I ask them where it is? Is that rude to ask? So I literally now have started to say, when people say, oh, so if you just say the UK, it covers it all, because obviously I am British. I'm Welsh and I'm also British, so I can say both. So that's been great. So I just say we're from the UK. Some people just go, are you from England? Because they kind of bunch it together. That they interchange UK and England, and then I'll just say yeah. Because what's the point in going on about, oh, I've got a Welsh accent? There's no point. So, and if they say to me, I'm from Iowa, I don't know what that means either. I'm oh, do you have a lot of cows there? Do you so it's a bit of give and take at the end of the day. But saying all that to say that they're not too used to British people. I was oh, I don't know if it's just the area we've moved to or something, but it seems to be everywhere we've gone has been the same. They're not too used to bumping into British people, and it just makes you stand out immediately the moment you speak. When we first came here, people a lot of times people wouldn't understand me. I think we talk faster in general than they do, but we use a lot of words they don't use. They use a lot of words we don't use, just general like lexicon and slang kind of stuff. So so you kind of learn gradually to stop using those, which it took me a while, because at first I had to identify those. What's different between what I'm saying and what you understand? Because obviously it's just the type of language I've used my whole life and never had to think about it. If you're in a restaurant, you might order like, can I please have a chicken burger? The please is kind of superfluous. They don't say please a lot here, weirdly. They're very, very, very polite, but in a different way. It's kind of more of like their manner and the way they are with you than they are. They say thanks a lot more than they say please. They order, they go, yeah. They start with yeah all the time. They go, yeah, I'll get a chicken burger, or I'll do the chicken burger. No lettuce, no tomato, fries. Gosh, it's just that they're direct, I suppose. And so when I turn up to a cafe, sit down, oh, I think I'll have the chicken burger, please. And oh, can you do it without any lettuce? And like they don't want all that. It like just throws them off with the accent as well combined. It's like it's too much. It's like, yeah. And then it's hard to like come back from that, because you can't just have please on and then considered polite. Your whole demeanour, the whole interaction is ways of being polite. It's difficult to explain, but that's the cultural differences, I suppose, that we had to get used to. So it took a whole year, or more, in fact. I was talking about, oh, we might be moving to Texas. And then the moment that I'd said, no, I don't want to go, that week, Rich, my husband, came back to me and said they've had some meeting and they've put it on the table and it's an option if you want to take it. I was never going to say no. I mean, I was going to say no when I first said no. They were like, we need to have a yes or no, are you going to do it or not? I was like, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. I think that's the exact words I used, in fact. There were a lot of things we were worried about, the culture differences moving to Texas, the main one being the guns. I know on YouTube you're not allowed to say guns anymore, so the pew-pews they always say, which is annoying because it seems to, like, I don't know, downplay it. But obviously, different day, different background, different t-shirt. I totally forgot where I got to, what I talked about yesterday. I stopped for tea, and then my husband bought pizza for tea. I forgot what I was saying. I think this video was all about why we moved to Texas and back again. I think that's what I'm going to call it. So I'm just in my bedroom now because it's a Sunday, and so the main areas are going to be used by everyone today, coming in and out and stuff. So I thought I'd move in here. I don't know how much of a great format this is, just talking head. If you prefer to see full length people or what, like, I really haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So the story about why we moved to Texas is just a maniacal laugh, is because, right, so the short of it is, we always wanted to move. We always thought we would live in a different country at some point, whether that would be for short term or for the rest of our lives. We just always knew we wanted to try life in a different country. It was something that we both always talked about since we'd ever met. And we realised that the further along Rich got in his job, that he had the opportunity to put in for it and ask for it. He wanted to move somewhere where there wasn't a language barrier, especially because we've got kids. We both had always thought the US was really cool. We came here on a family trip with his mum and stepdad in, I want to say like 2004, something like that. Might have been 2006 or something. We hadn't actually known each other all that long. We did like a multi-center trip. We went to San Francisco, Las Vegas, LA, Anaheim. We did like a 3-night cruise. Went to San Diego on that, and can't remember where we ended up, but it was like a 10-night like multi-center trip thing, which was just amazing. We were skint, and his mum and stepdad paid for us at the time, and we paid them back in installments, like I think it was like £50 a month for like a year or something. It took us to pay them back, and we just we loved it. We had such a great time, and that wasn't why we chose to move to America, but that was why we were thinking about Australia, was because of the language barrier thing. Me personally, I think the kids, it would be hard, but I think choosing culture over the convenience of the language barrier, for me, that felt more important, because I knew that we could all learn a new language and that it would make things harder in the beginning. But I think if you're going to immerse yourself in a new country, just for me, I was like, I think we could just choose anywhere, basically, except maybe wherever they speak Dutch. But like, yeah. But anyway, in reality, I don't know. I don't know what that's like. I know a few people now are moving to Portugal and have to learn Portuguese to get by, and would want to learn it if you lived there. I know a few families on YouTube I've seen do that. So yeah, the language barrier thing just didn't seem like such as big a thing for me as it was for Rich. But we both just loved the idea of America anyway. He, in his job, like I said, his office had a head office for his division in the US, which happens to be in Fort Worth, which is why it was Texas, and how we chose Texas over any other state. Obviously, we knew like the pew-pews was going to be a bigger issue and more of their culture here in Texas, and we talked about it. I don't think we've ever talked about anything else so much. As soon as we realised that the opportunity was a possible actual reality for us, that is all we talked about. And I said to my friends, I'm not going to be able to put them in school there. I'm going to have to homeschool. I don't know, do you think private school? Nobody really knew, and everyone was like, yes, it's awful, and nobody really knew what to say because there is no answer to it. And I was just like, we have to try. We have to go and see what life is like there. Oh, it sounds like someone's just come home. One sec. He came back and he brought me a Starbucks. That's why it was Fort Worth and not Colorado or California, or I don't know where else I would have moved to actually in the US. I guess like the East Coast is obviously super expensive, so that would have been immediately out. I don't think we would have gone for California. Talking about the East Coast being expensive, California is super expensive, so that would have just been written off quite early, I think. I like the idea of Colorado and Montana and stuff, like all the mountains and the national parks and stuff, but it's the bears, isn't it? Yeah, I'm probably worse with the snakes thing. Like, I didn't know how much of a problem the snakes thing was actually going to be, but when people say I've lived in Texas my whole life and I've never seen a snake, I feel like those people have never been outside. I've seen 5 or 6 snakes, and I'm not a hiker. I don't go into these national parks and hike for 8 hours a day. I literally go on little neighbourhood walks and go in my garden and to like the park, the town park, and walk around there. I saw one there. I saw one in the creek in our neighbourhood that you will have seen on our neighbourhood walk around, the bridge that we saw it off. I've seen 2 dead ones, one dead one in my garden, a little tiny one. I saw one on the side of the road, another little dead one, when we went on an actual, like, we went to like a trail with friends and did a walk one day. It was like a 5k walk with the kids. So, the 3, I've seen 3 alive. Well, I've seen another dead one on the side of in the grass village on the road. But the 2 live ones I've seen was when poked his head out of the rocks by a river. I'm pretty sure now that was a non-venomous one. It was black and I reckon that snake was probably about 2 or 3 feet long. Like it looked really long, but I only saw part of it, so I don't know for sure. But when I looked it up, I think it's like a water snake, like a snake that lives near the river because it hunts in the river.
And yeah, the other one we saw was hunting as well. Turned out that was a cottonmouth. They're kind of short and stubby and fat compared to the other ones. But it's not like you go outside and you see them all the time. Like, I am on the lookout for them every time I go out for walks, though, because of how common they are. Because in our neighbourhood Facebook page, people post all the time. Literally, there's one in the garage. What snake is this? There's one in my garden. There's one in... And the rat snakes are really long, non-venomous, though. And apparently, like, will choose not to come by you, or unless you, like, try and pick it up, then it might bite you. But it's non-venomous. But in general, they... steal eggs if you've got a chicken coop, but the pictures of them, you can hear my son chatting away in the shower. He's talking to himself, I don't know what he's saying. But they've shown pictures of them, like, they crawl up the porch, like they're up in the porch thing, like just hanging out, like they climb. They love climbing, they love trees. And so, I've never been scared of snakes. I guess I've never had reason to be until now, and now I am. I hate them, and they scare me. The end. You don't have to worry too much about bears in general, apparently, but we do have bobcats that come through the neighbourhood, and we see them on people's Ring cameras, and armadillos, apparently, but apparently they're like nocturnal. And what else? Weird shit. Raccoons. Never seen one, but seen neighbours post on their cameras. In my neighbourhood now, this is. And opossums, I don't know. Which I think are really cute, but I've never seen either. But again, just seen people posting pictures of them on their house camera. People who have cats, here for some reason, it's a general consensus that you shouldn't let your cat outside. They say things like, oh, it's going to get hurt, or it's going to kill all the mice in the area, or the birds in the area, or something. And they just have this is what I mean about the culture difference. It's difficult to explain, but like, it's just stuff like this. So you don't often see cats out, and if you do, you can go on the neighbourhood page and literally someone would have posted, whose missing cat is this? It's just a cat who lives here. There's one with a bobbed tail. He's had an accident and he's had half his tail has been cut off, so I always recognise him. He comes across our porch in our garden. He's lovely and quiet. I did see him eat a lizard one day, which was great. I saw him running past with it in his mouth. But he's really pretty, actually, grey cat. But like, people will literally post, oh, your cat's got out again, whose cat is this? Like, it's a cat, like chili beans. But something we do get a lot of is stray dogs. They're not stray, lost dogs. People's dogs get out all the time, I'm not even joking, and most of them here have massive dogs, because I think they have this thing of like, this mentality of like, protect my home. They all get huge dogs. You hardly ever see really cute, most dogs I see at home are those Labradoodle things. Here, you're more likely to see someone with a massive dog, like, than you are like a cute family pet. Like, I don't think I've seen a Labrador since I've been here. All kinds of different big dogs. Next door got a Doberman that barked incessantly when we first moved here. The ones over there, they've got a boxer that also barks incessantly whenever they leave the house. But they get out all the time. Not necessarily those two dogs, but other people's dogs. I see things all the time, pictures in my neighbourhood. Oh, lost dog running across whichever road it's on. Oh yeah, that's mine, I'll go get it. And like the one day, twice now, this big, it's like a bull mastiff thing, and it's got like one of those big heads, just traipsing down the road. Twice I've seen that one out. So, like, I find that more bothering than the cats, obviously. And to be honest, for a couple of days, I didn't go out because of it. Like, for like a good week. There was one out, and it was like this massive dog, and I just thought, God, if we were out on just a neighbourhood walk and that thing approached me, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, so I stayed in. So yeah, there's just a lot of little things like that when they all add up together makes you want to go home. But also I miss home anyway. My boy's just finished in the shower, so I'm going to have to finish this in a minute. I'm getting really bored of this video, and so if I'm getting bored of making this video, I can't imagine how you must feel watching it. I'm going to stop pissing my hair. right after I do this. Right, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's dogs. There's dogs everywhere. I'm not going to sit here and just like slag off North Texas, because we have had a lovely time here, and we have immersed ourselves as much as we possibly can at every opportunity, and met lots of great people. The thing I always come back to is just not home, and we wanted to go back, so we are. But the major thing for us was schools. We took the kids out of school in the end because, you know, it's something we were always worried about from the start anyway. And I tried to ask other mums when we got here, like, how do you deal with it? How do you cope with it? And unfortunately, there is no answer. They all think about it all day, every day. And they don't have the privilege of it not having to be an issue in their lives. We're from the UK, we moved here, so it was an easy fix for us. We just moved back home. But we were getting regular bomb threat messages. I would get a text message: there's been a bomb threat at school today, there's been a security threat today, this is what we're doing, this is what we have done, and that happened quite regularly. My daughter was only in school here for about 5 months, I think, start to finish in the end. And I couldn't tell you how many texts we had about security threats or bomb threats or whatever. So when it's always on your mind anyway, and then you get those messages on top as well, we just found it impossible to deal with. So they finished for the summer in May here, so we decided that ours weren't going to go back, so we deregistered them, and I've been homeschooling them since August. We started mid-August. We started at the start of August, but the kids all go back to school. School term restarts mid-August here. It was August 14th, but we started like the 3rd of August, I think, just to get a start on a new routine. And I've been trying to keep them in a routine since then, just to make the days tick over, because we knew we were going to go home, and it's in 3 weeks now that we're going home. So we're currently in the process of moving again, and we're all looking forward to being back in Wales. There is so much I could say about how much I'm looking forward to being back in Wales, and I think I'll save it all for another video. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's going to be good. So why did we move to Texas and back again? It's a 20-minute story apparently, but basically we moved to Texas with my husband's job, and it's Texas because his office is in Fort Worth, and we're moving home because we want to go home. So this channel is going to be showing you all the places. That's what I want it to be. But I want it to have more of a personal touch than just a voiceover on stock images. To come, there will be more videos about places in Wales. I'm trying to run around right now. I film a load of places here and put together a video of the places we have been, but I think a lot of them are going to be, like, not a lot of them are in landscape, because I only just decided to restart the channel. And then, but when I get to Wales, I already know some of the places I want to show. I just want to show them off because they're so fun. I hope that all made sense. I'm not sure it did, but that was why we moved from Wales to Texas and back again. Thanks for listening to me waffle on for half an hour about why I moved to Texas and home again. I hope that's given you a bit more insight into like who I am and why I'm filming and stuff. And I'll see you in the next vlog.